Welcome back, watch fans. We have another amazing watch market update for you. And we're going to find out if anybody tries to sell us some cocaine on today's walkabout. But here's what's going on in the watch market. Unbelievable but true watch market update for you. And here is the deal. Here is the deal. Prices are going up. Don't let these Puerto Rican hubcap thieves from Miami, we're talking about Juan Kino, guys stealing hubcaps. We're talking about from this truck, they stole the hubcaps. These are replacement caps. Yeah, these guys are telling you all the wrong information. Let me tell you something. Prices are actually going up. You know what? The tariff man, we're talking about the orange man. That's right, the orange man, aka tariff man. He is pushing up prices because, you know, look, the president of Switzerland is flying out because they panicked, you know. Well, let me tell you about the Swiss. They've been ripping us off for years. That's right. Trump told you that. I can tell you this also. Listen, the Swiss are really pure trash. It's kind of like, imagine like the Bogans we talk about. You know, the Australians are really kind of at the bottom of the barrel. Like, the Australians are like a step above the Canadians. Well, actually, no, Canadians are slightly above the Australians. But let me tell you something. The difference between the Bogans and the Swiss is the Swiss actually have brains. Okay, the Swiss are actually clever thieves, whereas the Bogans, the Australians, are just, you know, they're just morons. You know, I mean, look at Archie Luxury, look at, you know, all those people out there. You know, I mean, they're a bunch of low-life trash. Kangaroo. I mean, they're inbred with kangaroos and koalas. This is a fact. Now, but let me tell you something about the Swiss. The Swiss have been ripping us off for years, and I'm glad that Trump is taking vengeance for the Swiss who are selling shoddy product where the gold falls off the clasp. That's what we're talking about. Rolex. You get one of these two tones, the gold will fall off that clasp right there. Unbelievable true. Now, I'm going to try to get this fixed. From what I understand from Uncle Chomo, aka Curly, you can get this laser welded. Is that true? Some laser thing, spot weld? I don't know. And supposedly that's how Rolex does it. Now, if any of you got, now listen, the point I'm doing these videos for, the reason I'm doing these videos is, you know, hopefully there's some people smarter than me here that can actually, you know these things about metallurgy and know how these things work at Rolex. I don't know these things. What do I know? You know, I don't know about these things. But if you know, let me know where I could possibly get this done, if that actually would work in terms of the spot welding, because that's probably what Rolex does. Listen, you can't trust these thieves. But I'm glad that Trump is actually taking the initiative, and you know, I'm actually wondering how long will this hotel stay in business. I'm curious. This is such a weird place. You know, I think having the car upside down is like a bad omen. You know, you have a car upside down in a pool. I think it's a bad omen for a hotel, no? And this place, you know, I don't know how much longer they can keep going. You know, it's like let me tell you about this hotel. I'll give you an example. I don't want to get on a tangent, but you know, the best hotel probably on the planet is, I always say, the Wynn, Encore Wynn, same thing. And the level of detail there is incredible. I mean, you know, it would probably cost $10 billion to redo it today. I mean, the detail, they didn't spend, they didn't skimp, I should say. They didn't try to save nickels. I mean, they got marble. You go to the bathrooms, they got, you know, you go to the urinals, they got the marble dividers all the way up. Unlike this place over here, where you go to the bathroom here, I think, now I only went in there one time for the bathroom, and the urinals, the dividers there are like some sort of cheap, like something they got at Home Depot. I mean, they try to make it like very pretentious, like they're very upscale and sophisticated. You know, it's a bunch of lowlifes from Miami, and you know, these guys have no taste. I mean, really, this hotel is just very pretentious and fails. I mean, it's all like a lot of skimp, cheap construction. Yeah, it's just not the same. Blue interior, which is depressing color. Whereas the Wynn is genius, absolute genius. Steve Wynn, absolute genius. You know, it's got these red tones and all the colors at the win and the encore. Put you in a buying mood, basically. Put you in a happy mood. They got warm, rich colors. Warm, rich colors put you in a mood to spend money and to gamble, whatever. Whereas blue is listen, all I gotta tell you is about Picasso's blue period. Picasso's blue period. You know when that was? When the guy was depressed, when he had, you know, I think he had gonorrhea or something. He got some STDs from hookers in Paris or whatever, and he was depressed. Business was slow, it was hard. It was like Archie. The super chats weren't coming in, so things were hard for Picasso. It was the blue period. So blue is a color, you know, it's just not a, it's not a romantic color. It doesn't put people in a buying mood. That's why this place is struggling. If it was me, I would just rip out the whole interior and, you know, put in, you know, just do a new color scheme. But anyway, what do I know? Look, let's talk about Switzerland. Let's talk about watch prices. Look, watch prices are heading much higher. Where's my cocaine guy? I don't see him around today. The guy, the scooter guy, he's not around today. He is nowhere to be seen. Nowhere to be seen. What's going on? Where is the guy? He's not here. Okay. All right, gentlemen, look, let me do the quick roundabout here. Now, back to the watch market update. Here is what is going on. Here's what's going on. Prices are going up, okay? You know, the tariff man is right about Switzerland. They've been ripping us off. And, you know, they sent the president over. And let me tell you something. You know, he's going to jack up the tariffs to 39%. And, you know, they're panicking. They're panicking because, you know, they've been getting away with it for decades, the Swiss. Ripping us. By the way, the Swiss stole American watchmaking technology in the 19th century, in the 1880s, 1890s. America was the watchmaking, like that was the best watches came from actually America, pocket watches. And the Swiss were actually making clones and, you know, putting in made in the USA in them. I mean, it was pretty brazen. So now they're ripping us off with selling, you know, watches like this Rolex where the gold falls off the clasp, and then they want to charge you $2,000, $900 to fix their shoddy workmanship, and then they want to hold on to the watch so they can probably, you know, find something to repair, you know, which is going to be another $1,000, maybe, who knows. So that's how they get you. So, but with that said, so everything you got to know about Rolex is they're thieves. Prices are going up. I told you this before. I think we saw the bottom of the market. Now, let me be very clear because there's nuances. There's nuances. Remember I told you about the, yeah, everybody laughed. Everybody laughed when I was talking about the ellipse. The ellipse. We got some good reading over here. This is where Archie does all his reading. This is Archie's newsstand over here. I think next time he comes to Vegas, that's going to be his newsstand. Anyway, so what's going on? Everybody laughed when I told them the ellipse was going to the moon. And, you know, I have that Apple, I forgot the reference number, you know, the one I was showing. Yeah, the prices on that are going up every day. Maybe not every day, but every week, every whatever. They're up there. They're up there. It's going to be a $25,000 watch. The one that I was showing a couple months ago. You know, the iWatch. The one that looks like an Apple Watch. Apple ripped off that design. Let me tell you something else. The turnograph. Remember everybody laughed about the turnograph. Well, the turnograph has been also steadily climbing. That's right, the turnograph is steadily climbing. And again, you know, I was a little bit early on the turnograph, actually quite a bit early, and that's what happens. But I think at some point, the turnograph is going to explode. When? When will the turnograph explode? I have a feeling it's not too far away. I think we're within, you know, again, you know, these things, you know, look, when you're trying to predict like trends and fashion, that type of thing, sometimes you're off by a couple of years. It's not easy. It ain't easy. All right. So I think it could be another year, 2 years. Turnograph is money in the bank, but the prices are going up. This thing about the tariffs, you know, even if they solve it, that's not going to go away. You think they're going to, you know, all of a sudden drop the tariffs to zero? No, it's going to be probably up there. And that president of Switzerland, you know, who's flying down there to meet Trump, look, she looks like a lesbian. Trump is a very simple guy. I mean, he likes hot girls. He likes hot girls. He likes, you know, the Italian prime minister. What's his name? Meloni. You know, she's cute. I mean, she's got to be in her, I don't know, what is she, 50 or whatever? I mean, she's cute. I mean, whereas the Swiss one looks like, you know, she looks kind of like what you'd expect, you know, from these Germanic countries, like Angela Merkel. Angela was she was no looker, you know what I mean? This was no Claudia Schiffer. You know what I'm saying? This was, you know, no Claudia Schiffer over there. So I don't think she's going to succeed. I think Trump is going to, you know, like just, you know, tell her to hop on a, by the way, we don't need anything the Swiss sell. What do they sell? They sell us some watches, some garbage. Their chocolate is overrated, highly overrated. Everybody knows the best chocolate is from Belgium. The Belgians make the best chocolate. The Swiss, I mean, what do they have? They got nothing. They make some watches. Most of their watches aren't even made in Switzerland. They're made in China. That's why Trump is jacking up the tariffs, because he knows that he's actually tariffing China. He's tariffing China. Bottom line is, to make a long story short, is prices are going up. And there's nothing you can do about it. And listen, this Juan Kino, you know, this guy, this mooch bum, every day, this guy's putting up 3 videos. They're all the same. About the market is dead, market is crashing. Prices are going up. You Google it. Okay, actually, the market is quite strong. Prices are steadily on the increase now. How about your, you know, your basic watches? I know mostly tomato cans. All you care about is your tomato can, basic bitch, black steel Submariner. You know, the Submariner with a black dial, the black bezel, because, you know, you want to be like everybody else. You want to fit in. You want to fit in with all your tomato can friends, you know? You want to fit in with your tomato can friends, and that's why you're buying these basic bitch watches. So those, I mean, you know, what can I tell you? You know, it's an overrated watch. At some point, it'll be worthless. You know, I don't know when, but it's coming. That day is coming. But what is on the increase? What is on the increase? Pretty much everything. I mean, the good quality stuff. I'm not talking about the Patek Philippe, you know, or the AP, their stupid, you know, fake dress watches. I'm talking about the good stuff, the stuff we talk about on this channel. Those things are steadily increasing, pretty much. And again, I don't think, well, that's the thing you got to realize. On this channel, we only focus on watches that will increase in value. That will only increase in value. And, you know, the watches that are in our sort of space are all ticking up. They're all ticking up, everything. Patek, AP, Rolex, even JLC. That's right, unbelievable but true. So don't let that tomato can hubcap thief, this guy that's deported to La Isla del Cucaracha. Actually, from what I understand, him and Kino are at Christy Nome. She, you know, she personally deported Juan. She kicked down his door. She was wearing, you know, she had that outfit with the combat boots, you know, with obviously, you know, full makeup, hair blown out. You know, she spent like a couple of hours, you know, getting ready to look good. And she was wearing the Daytona, the gold Rolex Daytona. That's right, Christy Nome was wearing the gold Rolex Daytona and the boots and the, you know, the bulletproof vest when she kicked down Juan's door, and she caught him with Kino engaged in immoral sexual activities. That's right. Juan was sexually exploiting Kino. That's right. Unbelievable but true. But this is why we got to deport these lowlives. And he's, from what I understand, he's at what is it called? Alligator Alcatraz. He's at Alligator Alcatraz. He tried. He was deported to La Isla de la Cucaracha, but then he snuck back in. He got into like a one of those inflatable, those pool toys, those pool like things, that floating things, those things the little kids have on their arms that you put around their arms, floaties or something. The little kids when they teach them how to swim. So him and Kino had those little things around their arms, and they swam all the way from La Isla de la Cucaracha to Miami, and they infiltrated Miami, but the governor, Kristi Noem, came in and they kicked down the door with the door kickers. And now watch what she wearing. Yellow gold Rolex Daytona, which, by the way, I think is also an overrated watch. I'm trying to find always like an excuse to like it, because I don't know. I kind of like some of them in terms of the blue dial white gold, but I can't get into it. They just like, what am I going to do with it? You get the timing right here, baby. It's just an overrated watch. But those prices, by the way, the white gold blue dial, we talked about that on this channel, for the members only. That watch was in the low 30s a few months ago, and today it's I think they're about 40 grand, high 30. I mean, the stuff has gone up probably, I would say, some things have gone up at least 10% or more, sometimes 20% in the last 6 months. That's right. Unbelievable true. So I got to tell you something. So if you guys missed out on your chance for the ROLEX, that's it. It's too late. It's too late. Prices are going up. All the way up. All the way up. Yeah, that's what's going on, my friends. Let me know what you think. Leave your nasty, vicious comments below. Listen, one thing I do need to emphasize: do not send money to these low lives out there trying to do the super chat, e-begging. You gotta listen. If you want to protest having Uncle Chomo Curly show up on some of those channels, you gotta send the super chats to this channel. Just we call it spite chats. Spite chats. Let these guys starve. Let these mooch bums starve. A bunch of grifters. They're all stealing your money, your children's tuition money and lunchbox money. Listen, between Juan and Kino and these super chat thieves, between Artem Pizdets, you got the Bogan of Brisbane, you got this Watch Nicholas, you got JJ Bukiak, you got the Grifter of Venice. I'm trying. Did I miss anybody? Did I miss anybody on the list? I think I got pretty much everybody. No, there's more. I mean, these guys, I keep coming out of the woodwork. There's more and more of these grifters every day. We got this guy. We got to get that guy deported on these bikes, these e-bikes. We got to deport these people. They're not sending us the best. They're not sending us the best. These places from El Salvador, they're not even Mexicans. I mean, the Mexicans at least have a right to be here because, let's face it, this actually was Mexico, Alto Mexico. That's right, unbelievable. You Google it. We're talking about California, Texas, Arizona, California, Nevada, I think part of Colorado, yeah, New Mexico. This is all Alto Mexico. And look, everybody knows the Americans looked for an excuse to steal the land. So the Mexicans do have a right to be here. And they also have good food. But these other people, the Puerto Ricans, you got to toss them out. You got to toss them out. Only the Mexicans. All right, let me know what you think. Leave your comments below.